Hello guys, in this video we are going to talk about the IELTS writing part. If you find the video useful, please push the subscribe button and the like button. It gives me a lot of enthusiasm to make this kind of useful kind of videos. So at the end of the video, you will be having a full confidence to write the IELTS writing part and you will be able to achieve a good band score. So IELTS writing part usually consists of two parts or two essay kind of parts, and you will be given 60 minutes on the clock. So the first 20 minutes you are going to allocate for the task 1, and the next 40 minutes you are going to allocate for the task 2. So the task 1 is the graphical interpretation. A graph will be given in front of you and you have to convert them into meaningful words, right? So you have to write a report on on the given graph diagram or the given process. So the 20 minutes to complete the task, and this is very crucial, because if you exceed the 20 minutes of time, and you will have no time to answer the task 2, and the task 1 is much more simpler, as you require only to write down the information which have been already given. You don't have to think anything. You have to make useful and grammar free sentences. So it has to be factual in nature, no opinion, in the sense that you have to you should not use the letter I, right? So if you're using the letter I, you're giving an opinion in terms of yourself. So there's a standard method which we are going to see in the later part of the video. So the task 1, the strategies we are going to see. So it encompasses of 4 complete very short paragraphs. I mean short paragraph in the sense of 1 to 2 sentences. And always favor quality over quantity. It is an English proficiency test. So they are not going to test how well your handwriting is. So always favor quality over quantity. So demonstrate excellent command of the language. And the rules to be followed while writing these kind of parts is always write 8 to 11 sentences, not more than that. And most of the students write above 8 to 11 sentences, and it is not at all necessary. If you write 8 to 11 sentences, you will automatically reach the required word limit. So so create 4 distinct and useful paragraphs. So it should be completed within 20 minutes, right? So that makes sense, because you will have much more time for the task 2 writing part. So these are the methods to be followed for a good band score. So you should be able to describe the graphs in your own words. So try to use more synonyms as much as possible. So try to give an overview of the graph. So try to point out the highest and lowest points in the graph, and greatest and the least amounts without mentioning the exact number. So if you're mentioning the exact number, it will go to the 3rd and the 4th paragraph, which we will clearly discuss in the later part of the slides. So you should only describe the differences. You should have to mention the highest and lowest points. That's it. So this overview is done, and the overview is very much critical for a good band score. Always remember. So make a real comparison of the details in 2 paragraphs. So just don't exaggerate on what you just barely see with your own eyes. So the criteria to for the grading of the task 1 is you should be good at task development. You should be able to answer all the parts of the questions. So you should be able to use coherence and cohesive kind of words, so that it it merges with one sentence to the other. So you should be able to use academic kind of vocabulary. What is the academic kind of vocabulary? It is the kind of vocabulary that matches with the actual question. For example, if you're having a question related to environment, then you have to take up the vocabulary related to of course environment. If you haven't used that kind of vocabulary, then you will be lacking a lot of marks here and there. So you should be using subject specific vocabularies, adjective, adverbs, and synonym languages. So you should be able to use grammar free sentences. I'm very much particular about this because if you're making a mistakes here and there, your band score is automatically is going to come down. They're not going to check how much words you have written. If it exceeds beyond the word limit, then the number of words which you have written is already going to strike you back by if you're writing more words, you're going to make more mistakes. So try to be strategic and try to write words which are within the word limit, or exactly the word limit. So the points to keep in mind are, don't give opinion. As I have already said, don't use I or don't use the word I at all, right? So don't overwrite, and use sentence variety. So don't always use the highest, the highest. Always use different kind of sentence beginning structure. So always develop a plan and stick to it, and I will show you how to develop a plan. While always tackling through the questions, you should be having an overview, right? Overview in the sense that you should be able to have a mind map, so that you will be not be scattered around the writing part. This I have already discussed. Then the common mistakes most of them makes is, most of them do not paraphrase the questions. If you just copying the questions, it's almost like you are doing a plagiarism. Like uh, plagiarism is not allowed, right? So you should be able to paraphrase, and you should be able to use a wide variety of synonym languages here and there. And if you're using, even if you're copying the same exact question, you will be severely punished by by the grades will go dramatically down. So the separate paragraphs, you have to distinguish the paragraphs to get high band score. And always favor quantity over quality, right? I have already said the word limit is 150 words, and you don't have to write more than 8 to 11 words. If you're writing 8 to 11 words with the perfect coherence and cohesive connectivity, then automatically you will reach the mark of 150 words. And try to be failure to be specific, right? So students who don't directly answer the questions fail to get high grades, right? So approach is what matters, right? Try to describe everything in the graph. Don't try to describe everything in the graph. You just have to describe the highs and lows of the graphs, right? So you don't have to mention each and everything. Here they are not actually expecting what's there in the graph. They are actually testing your English proficiency test. And time management is very much critical, I have faced so far, because among all the other parts, this is the parts where a student face the time crisis here. And the contents to be there in each and every paragraph is, para 1 is the intro part. So you have to give a general thought about what comes to your in your mind, right? So about the paragraph, so about the graph, sorry. And in the para 2 is the overview is very much important for high grades. I'm repeating it again and again. So mention the highest and lowest without the actual numbers. When you will deal with the actual numbers in the third and fourth paragraphs, and this is the para which you will deal with the actual numbers, and you will be able to contrast and compare the different numbers and percentages. So you will be breaking into two paragraphs, so namely two types of highs and lows. And with that you will be covering to 2 to 3 sentences. And the para 4 is the second part of the break of the part. I have already said, right, in the paragraph 3 you will be discussing the you will be breaking the paragraph into two parts, right? So the part 1 you are going to discuss in the paragraph 3, and the part 2 you are going to discuss in the paragraph 4. And describe the remaining part of the graph in a sensible and comparable manner. So these are the vocabularies that you could take into account, and you could write it down in a piece of paper, so that you could use it in your examination. So for the purpose of increase, you could use a synonym, like of course you could also use increase, and jump up, skyrocketed, climbs up. And decrease you could use a plummet, drop down, plunge, decline, so on. You could gather this kind of vocabularies in different platforms like in online. And here we come to the task 2. So there is a standard procedure, and you have to complete within the mark of 40 minutes. So it encompasses of 4 to 5 paragraph, and the minimum and the minimum words you should have to be written is 250 words. And you must directly answer the question. This is very, very much important, right? So you just don't have to go around the neck and try to answer the questions. And they are looking at the quality of writing, so they are not looking at the whether you are able to present useful information or something. This is not the analytical part or the thinking part of the exam. This is a language based exam. I'm repeating now and then, right? So you have to complete it in 40 minutes. Of course, if you are able to complete within 20 minutes in the task 1, you will be having a lot of time to think, and you will be having a lot of time to organize your time in the task 2. So let us deal with the example, so that you will be having a sort of a clear mind while tackling through the question paper. So in this we are given the question such that we have to agree or disagree that internet sometimes gives wrong or inaccurate informations. So we have to choose a side, right? So you have to agree or disagree. We could not both agree and disagree, right? So most of them make this statement, like make this mistake, right? Either they will agree and disagree. So it have clearly mentioned, right, agree or disagree. If we have agreed and disagreed, you will be granted the lowest brand score possible, right? So try to figure out a side, right? So here I have agreed to the question. So I have in the first paragraph I'm going to discuss about the information it gives about the country. And the second paragraph I'm going to discuss, second paragraph means second detailed paragraph. In the first paragraph you will be writing about your intro, and second paragraph you will be giving your overview, and the third paragraph is the one which I'm saying gives information about the country, right? And the fourth paragraph is the celebrity, right? And the fifth one is the conclusion part. So in this manner I will be able to distinguish into 5 meaningful paragraphs, and I will be able to give a pleasant reading to the examiner. So in that I am going to discuss about the subdivisions of the culture and the food. And in the fourth paragraphs I'm going to discuss about the celebrities, about their lifestyle and who they are dating with. I'm going to discuss about it. So so if you have followed all these strategies, I could assure you that you will be able to reach the desired band score of what is in your mind, right? So if you have found this video useful, please subscribe to the channel, because I found that only more than half of the viewers of mine subscribe to the channel, and it gives me a sense of motivation for making other like this kind of useful videos. So see you in the next video. Bye, tata.